Do you think you know your own body well? Well, let me assure you, it hides secrets that you never imagined. The human chin is unique in our species. Your voice sounds different when recorded because your brain tricks it. Your body glows in the dark, even if you can't see it. And believe it or not, there are people who have a blood type so rare that only 43 individuals in the entire world have it. Yes, the human body is a machine full of mysteries, and most people go through their entire lives without even realizing how extraordinary it really is. Now, think about it. How many times have you underestimated small details about your own body? Did you know that your little finger is responsible for almost half of the strength of your hand? Or that your body has enough fat to produce bars of soap? It seems absurd, but science proves it. What if I told you that there is still much more to discover? Get ready, because what you are about to discover will change the way you see your own body. And when you finish reading, I guarantee you will never look at yourself in the mirror the same way again. Take a look around you. No other animal has a chin like yours. This is no small detail. It's unique to the human species. Scientists are still racking their brains trying to understand why our jaw developed this way, while no other primate, no matter how closely related, shares this trait. Some believe that the chin may be related to speech, while others believe that it plays a role in jaw strength during chewing. But one thing is certain: it's a trait that sets us apart from the rest of the animal kingdom. Now, think about how small details can define something much bigger. Just as a chin is a trait unique to our species, unique traits make each individual stand out. The shape of our face, the way we smile, even the way we speak, it's all a package of identity. By the way, have you ever noticed that some people have a very pronounced chin, while others barely have one? This could be linked to genetics and even the way bones develop throughout life. Interesting curiosity, right? And while the exact function of the chin is still a mystery, one thing is certain: it even influences aesthetics and the perception of beauty. Just look at celebrities with striking chins: Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, Henry Cavill. A well-defined chin is often associated with strength and confidence. But is there any biological basis to this, or is it just a social construct? This kind of detail can be a good starting point for understanding other unique characteristics of the human body, such as the voice. And speaking of which, have you ever stopped to think about how different your voice sounds when recorded? You know that uncomfortable feeling when you hear your own voice recorded? It seems like it's not you speaking, right? Well, that happens because, in everyday life, you hear your own voice differently. When we speak, the sound travels through the air to our ears, but it also propagates internally through the skull, vibrating our bones. This generates a fuller and deeper perception of our own voice. But when we listen to a recording, this internal filter disappears, and then we are presented with our real voice, as the world really hears it. Fascinating curiosity, isn't it? Now, imagine how this affects those who work with their own voice: announcers, singers, lecturers. Many go through training to get used to this difference and improve their diction. If you've ever recorded an audio and thought, "My voice is horrible," relax, you're not alone. An interesting trick to improve your perception is to record yourself speaking regularly and listen to yourself carefully. You can adjust the tone, improve clarity, and even gain more confidence in communication. After all, your voice is a powerful tool, and learning how to use it well can open many doors. And it's not just in communication that our voice plays an important role. Studies show that people form impressions based on vocal tone. A firm voice can convey authority, while a softer tone can be more persuasive. This is so important that there are even persuasion techniques based on the strategic use of voice. But speaking of unique body characteristics, there's something even more unusual. Did you know that we have enough fat in our bodies to produce bars of soap? Well, the human body is full of surprises. It may seem bizarre, but the human body contains enough fat to make about 7 bars of soap. That's because body fat can be processed and turned into soap through a chemical process called saponification. In fact, there are historical accounts that, in ancient times, human fat was used in this process, a somewhat macabre but curious detail. However, today, the soaps we use are made mainly with vegetable oils and animal fats of controlled origin. Now, if there's one thing this makes clear, it's the fundamental role of fat in our bodies. Although many people try to get rid of it at any cost, The truth is that fat is essential for vital functions, such as thermal insulation, energy storage, and even hormone production. The problem is not the fat itself, but the excess of it and the quality of the diet. Want an example? Ultra-processed foods contribute to the accumulation of harmful fat, while good fats, such as those found in avocados and olive oil, help with brain and heart health. And while we're on the subject of intriguing bodily elements, here's another interesting fact. Everyone has fingerprints, but did you know that we still don't know exactly why they exist? It may seem obvious that they're used to hold hands, but science still hasn't come up with a definitive answer. This brings us to another fascinating mystery of the human body. Fingerprints are one of those characteristics that everyone has, but no one knows exactly why. Yes, they help with grip, allowing us to hold objects more firmly, but is that their only function? Scientists are still debating the true purpose of these unique marks. Some believe that they amplify tactile sensitivity, helping us to perceive textures and subtleties when touched. Others suggest that they can reduce friction, preventing blisters and bruises on the fingertips. In other words, there are more questions than answers when it comes to this. The most interesting thing is that even identical twins, who share the same DNA, do not have the same fingerprints. This is because the pattern of fingerprints is not only genetic, but also determined by the environment in the womb. Small variations in the position of the fetus and blood flow alter the development of these tiny grooves, making each pattern completely unique. This explains why digital biometrics are so effective for identification. There is no other person in the world with the same fingerprints as you. And speaking of features that are invisible to the naked eye, there's something even more intriguing. The human body emits light. Yes, you glow in the dark, but in a way that no one can see. It sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's pure biology. It may sound like a scene from a superhero movie, but it's real. The human body emits a faint light that is completely invisible to the naked eye. This phenomenon occurs because cellular metabolism generates tiny amounts of photons, a type of biological light. Unlike the bioluminescence seen in fireflies and jellyfish, this light is extremely subtle and can only be detected by ultra-sensitive cameras. The most impressive thing: scientists have discovered that our body's glow varies throughout the day, being brighter in the afternoon and dimmer at night. This may not be something we actively use in our daily lives, but it raises an intriguing question. What else is our body doing without us realizing it? Some researchers believe that this glow may be linked to the way our body deals with stress and oxidative processes. In other words, the more balanced your body is, the better this invisible energy flow will be. Although we can't see this light, our skin reflects signs of our health. Just watch how it changes with our diet, sleep, and hydration levels. And speaking of parts of the body that are often underestimated, there is a curious detail about our hands that few people imagine. Did you know that, without the little finger, your grip strength would be reduced by half? It may seem exaggerated, but this little finger plays a very important role. Small, inconspicuous, and often overlooked, the little finger plays a crucial role in hand strength. If it were to disappear, your grip would lose almost half its strength. This is because the little finger works in conjunction with the ring finger to support the gripping movement. It is essential for tasks that require firmness, such as holding a barbell at the gym, opening a stubborn jar lid, or even giving that confident handshake. Without it, your ability to hold heavy objects would be severely compromised. Sounds like overkill? Take a quick test. Try holding a glass or a heavy bag without using your little finger. You will notice how much more effort the other fingers have to exert and how unstable your grip becomes. This explains why athletes and musicians, such as pianists and guitarists, train this finger so much to improve its mobility and strength. Small adjustments to the muscles in your hands can make a big difference in precision and endurance, whether in sports or in everyday activities. But if you think that one finger makes all the difference, wait until you meet something even rarer and more impressive: golden blood. Only 43 people in the world have this blood type, considered the rarest on Earth. And the reason for this is something that almost seems like fiction. Imagine having a blood type so rare that only 43 people in the entire world have it. This exists and is called golden blood. What makes it so special? Unlike the common blood types, A, B, AB, and O, this blood does not contain any Rh antigen. In other words, it can be accepted by anyone with an Rh negative blood type, making its donors extremely valuable. The problem? People with golden blood have a huge difficulty finding compatible donors, making transfusions a challenge. Now think about the impact of this. If you had this blood, every donation you make could be a real treasure to save lives. But at the same time, if you needed a transfusion, finding a compatible donor would be like finding a needle in a haystack. That's why these people are encouraged to store their own blood for future emergencies. This rare detail of human biology reminds us of how fascinating the body can be and, at the same time, full of unpredictable challenges. And speaking of body mysteries, the amount of curiosities that few people know is impressive. From a simple chin to an almost mythological blood type, our body hides incredible secrets. But what if I told you that there is still much more to discover? There are curiosities that can completely change the way you see your own organism. Now tell me, how many of these facts did you already know? The chin that makes you unique, the voice that sounds different from what you imagine, the invisible glow you emit. The human body is full of secrets, and understanding these details gives you more self-awareness. But are there more things about your own body that you still don't know? If you like these curiosities and want to continue discovering more incredible secrets, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The next content may completely change your view on what you thought you already knew.